Hey guys, welcome to 3 and Out. You can check out the podcast below in the description. And here's what I need you to do. Make sure you subscribe to the Volumes YouTube channel to stay up to date to everything we're doing here on 3 and Out and the Volume. I've been saying forever, maybe, I don't even think this quite yet, like Andy and Mahomes are even in this category. There have been two people, and really three, because there was a quarterback and a coach, and then there was just a coach in college. But it was Belichick, Brady, and Nick Saban. The only people in the sport of football, maybe there are, some of those people in high school football too, but in the pros and in college, when the season started, it was Super Bowl or national championship or bust. That's all that mattered. That is the only thing. Championship or bust. Their entire life surrounding every year, 365, were about the ring. Anything less than that was a failure. And I'm thinking back in my lifetime, I was born in 84, same year Jordan came in. I mean, I remember some of those late 90s teams, but, late 80s, early 90s, I don't have a vivid memory of Michael. To me, the first guy who was truly just championship or bust was Tiger Woods. It was like, I'm going to win these fucking majors every year. That's the only thing I care about. And I think most of us in any different walk of life, right? How do you quantify success? Like once you start making money, in the business I'm in, like the more people that listen, the more revenue we make. But ultimately every year, like we just want to gain more. There's not like a finality to it. There's not like, well, if I get to 1 million listeners or I get to 2 million, it's not like Howard Stern or Joe Rogan or some of these guys get to a point like, I don't want any more listeners. I don't want to make any more money. You can always keep going. And that works for any industry, right? Apple, Facebook, these companies couldn't be any bigger. They don't go, we've hit the mountaintop, no more business. No, you just keep trying to grow. And the great part about sports is they get to do that too, especially in professional sports. But there is an end game to it all. You either win or lose every week. It's cut and dry. In football, there are now 17 games. You have a final score at the end of the week, if you win or lost. And for the good teams, the playoffs and the Super Bowl. You either are a champion or you're not a champion. And there are few champions, right? In every sport, there is one champion a year. One team and one quarterback and one coach wins the Super Bowl. But most of them, like did the Chiefs have a bad season last year because they didn't win it? No. I'm sorry. Kansas City, they had never won a Super Bowl. Or maybe they have. I don't want to screw up my my NFL history. But it was a big deal for them to win the Super Bowl 2 years ago, right? Then they got back. It was awesome. It sucked they lost, but that was an incredible 2-year stretch. They went to back-to-back Super Bowls, 1-1, right? They are not quite at the point yet to just be Super Bowl or bust. It was Brady and Belichick. And it was a little weird to see them on opposite sides. And it's hard for Belichick to truly be wired like that because his team isn't quite as good. You saw the clip of that ESPN Plus show, I'm already in, right? With Vrabel talking, Welker talking. Like, Tom is obsessed with this. His obsession is just stupid. And you saw it a couple times tonight when he scrambled, he dove for a first down, going for the kill shots at the end of the game to Antonio Brown. Clearly the lighting got into him because Antonio Brown that I've watched over the last decade makes definitely the second catch. Now, it was tough, rain environment, but man, I mean, Brady was not messing around. I tip my hat to Belichick. I tip my hat to his coaching staff. I thought defensively, they were flying around, absolutely flying around. Special teams is where they've always hung their hat on. They were fantastic. Listen, I watched a lot of bad offense over the last couple of weeks. I thought Josh McDaniels was brilliant tonight. He's always perfectly timed his trick plays. They hit a big one tonight late in the game, but his play calling, and everyone's like, Mac Jones. And listen, I'm going to diminish and take nothing away from Mac Jones. He tied Brady's franchise record tonight for 20 straight completions. He broke, I think, the NFL record for 19 straight completions for a rookie quarterback. In that environment, it's not like Mac Jones grew up playing in Michigan or Ohio State. Like, he played in the South. Like, they're not used to inclement weather, and it's going to be something. I don't know how cold it was there. The rain can come in the Northeast for you listening. If you live there, you're like, of course, but it doesn't have to be cold or hot or it just come whenever. You guys, humidity, stuff that I can't relate to. But later in the season, like, it is a place where inclement weather in November and December really, impact that franchise. And he passed his first test for a guy who's, the weather ain't that bad in the SEC, right? So it was very, very impressive. And the biggest thing that everyone harped on when he came out, and if you've listened to me for a while, you know that I didn't love him because the physical traits are not that great. I mean, you can see his arm is not that great. Like Tom Brady, when I see some of these comparisons, he can kind of play like Brady. Brady has an elite arm. Maybe it's not elite anymore, but it's still damn good. Like Mac has an average arm, and people often DM me. They're like, Middlekauff, you harp on arm strength all the time. For the majority of franchises, if you don't play in LA, right, you are going to have to play in games outside when it's cold, when it's wet, when it's windy, when the weather turns. And you're going to have to play good teams historically. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, New England, right? Buffalo now, Baltimore, Cleveland, and the weather turns. And it becomes difficult to play in that environment. It's why Tom Brady thrives in that environment because he has this big arm. Aaron Rodgers forever can play great in November and December because he has a strong arm. It becomes more difficult when the wind's whipping around and it's 10 degrees, right? And the guy and everyone, you saw a couple times the DB's just almost there, taking nothing away from the kid. Rookie year, that was fantastic. I thought Josh McDaniels was the star of the game. His just ability to manipulate and call the plays and have Mac Jones look comfortable. And Mac deserves credit too, but that's part of his package. He is a comfortable player. He took some big hits. No one ever questioned his toughness. Like he's like a Cousins version of Brady. Now, I do think Cousins' arm has got a little stronger over the years, but now Kirk Cousins plays in a dome, So Mac playing outside, they need their receivers aren't great, but it was just fantastic. Like the storyline, it doesn't get old. We're not going to see anything like this ever again. 20 years together. It's never going to happen. 20, but it's not even just the 6 Super Bowls. They went to several others and lost. Sometimes I forget about that. It's like, oh yeah, they lost to Eli Manning when they were undefeated. In 11, Eli Manning won again. And they also lost the one to Nick Foles and Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is now fired, and Nick Foles is the 3rd string quarterback. Think about that. Like, so much happened. Scandals, a deflate gate, a spy gate. You won't even be able to make that up. It's why you can write several books about this 20-year franchise, and people like me buy it. I just pre-ordered Seth Wickersham's book, audio version, and I'm really excited to listen to it. I also had a buddy who hit me up that said McConaughey's book, you should download it audiobook style because he reads it, is fantastic. So I also downloaded that. But it was just, tonight was awesome. That felt, I mean, the star power sneaky that the Bucks have. All of a sudden, they just signed Richard Sherman, and he's just their starting corner. It's like, who's on their team? Oh, they got Tom Brady, but they've also added Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, and Richard Sherman. It's a little like the Lakers. They have like Carmelo and Russ and some of these guys. Dwight Howard. The difference is Antonio Brown can still play. He had 6 or 7 catches tonight, and he's been really good this season. Gronkowski, before he broke his ribs, looked awesome. Sherman had a fumble recovery. Now, it's hard to judge Richard Sherman. They signed him on like Wednesday, and he started for them on Sunday. But they do have a little bit, and maybe this is Brady, of an NBA team type feel. It happens a lot in the NBA as like, finals, like teams that could win the championship. They add some of these veteran guys, and you're like, oh my God, this is like an all-star team 7 years ago. The Bucks have that feel. The difference is they also have sweet players like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, guys in their prime right now. Their coaching staff is fantastic. Even though the Patriots are 1-3, I would not count them out. They're not the sexiest team. They're going to struggle to score points because they don't have the most explosive offense. And clearly the Bucks, I mean, they're defending Super Bowl champs. So that's, that game beats probably 85, 90% of the NFL, the way the Patriots play tonight. But I think the Patriots are still going to be heard from. The coaching's too good. Josh McDaniels too good. Now, can Mac just maintain this level of play? It's difficult for a rookie, especially when he doesn't have that much help. But I don't think we learned much from the Bucks. We know they're sweet. Like they're probably the favorite right now to, win the NFC, right? Them, I guess the Rams came back to earth. the Packers look like they got their mojo back, but you would have the betting odds. I'm sure the Bucks are the pick, and the Patriots. It's going to be a little difficult. They're 1-3, but to me, I could see them easily get back to like 4-4 and kind of make a second half run. So that game was sweet. That game was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thanks for watching 3 and Out. You can check out the podcast below in the description, and make sure you subscribe right now to the Volumes YouTube channel.